Okay, so I just completed some walking. Now it's 4:01 today on Saturday. I was sick last night. And I'm pretty sure I know what it was. Some carnitas we had for dinner from Pro's Ranch Market. So my brother also got sick from the same thing. No, it's not stress. And my sister noticed the meat tasted a little differently, and my brother-in-law commented that it tasted a little gamey to him, which, being Mexico, maybe there is a such thing as carnitas de raccoon or something, but so came here, had a little bit of lunch, did some walking to get my daily exercise. So I started the camera rolling, going down the escalators at Dillard's here at Scottsdale Fashion Square, and I guess I'll just try to highlight some remnants of the old Camelview Plaza, but those escalators were the mall entrance from the underground garage. And actually on the level P1, you've got a loading dock that is not used. I'm on level P2, which is the second underground level. The mall is busy today. Despite the economy and all that, it is a luxury mall and they're still busy and successful. But that was one remnant of Camelview Plaza. Here's another remnant here, because the doors where the escalators are located and this door where the elevator leading up into Dillard's is located, that's not your standard Dillard's door. If you've been to a Dillard's store, then you know what their doors look like, and that ain't the usual Dillard's door. So we'll head over here to this tight little ramp that points the way to the exit at 68th Street. See, like, these docks aren't used anymore. Though Dillard has stashed some of their spare fixturing down here. And then this ramp leads up to the surface world. So we'll follow the garage this way. This side of the mall is where you've got the bank tower with its unused penthouse up above. Don't know if that penthouse was meant for someone to live in, like the designer, but the person that designed it, I think they're from like the Middle East or something, and they have no other notable work here. Offices is for the tower, I'm guessing, but they have no other presence here as to what has been designed by them. Don't remember the name. But I am now under Neiman Marcus, which I'll go out to the street so you can see its facade, which has been pretty unchanged since it was built, because it was originally a Sakowitz, and then Sakowitz is no longer around, and Neiman Marcus moved in probably circa 92. See, like, here's the store entrance to Neiman Marcus. And then this is the mall entrance over here, which you ascend into the mall via elevator. And then these stairs connect the surface with the two levels of underground parking. This whole garage is from the Camelview Plaza days. And the mall was built about 1972, I believe. They were a competing mall with Fashion Square across its parking lot. See, so That looks down into the loading dock area there. This exit simply links with the ramp I had passed prior. So we're gonna head back down here. So pretend we just came down that long ramp you just saw. So this is the view you get when you enter the garage. And I just noticed how dirty my windshield is. Okay, give me just a sec here. Okay, back down we go. It's a tight little ramp. I'm just glad I'm not driving a bigger vehicle. So I'll give you a view of the underside of the 80s expansion that connected the two malls. And also give you a side view of the Camelview 5 theater from Harkins, which is, it looks like it's currently undergoing demolition now. It closed back in December. It and the Fashion Square 7 and the food court were replaced by the new Camelview at Fashion Square on the east end of the mall. See, this is the underside of the 80s expansion. Speed bumps. That across the way, across Goldwater, is the end of the old Fashion Square. It was Dillard's that sat there, and well, Dillard has been divided up and turned into mall space, and this Macy's was the new Dillard's that replaced it. So you see how the parking lot is fenced off, and you've got the construction equipment here. And the Camelview 5 is being demolished. As you can tell by the big gaping holes in the building. See, the rest of the mall is across the street. Well, one part of the rest of the mall. So that Macy's used to be Dillard's. Number 2, we're going under the 80s expansion here. And then here is Neiman Marcus, which used to be Sakowitz. Its facade is unchanged. Across the street over here, across the intersection, is the Nordstrom wing that was added in the 90s. And then Amtrust has their bank branch at the bottom of this tower. I don't know if the upper level is all leasable space, or if it's like with the bank I work at, and the bank simply owns the entire building, and operations and business banking and things like that may be held in the upper floors of the building. But that's Camelback Mountain over there. That's the east end of it. It's the namesake of the street I'm on here, which is Camelback Road. Which this is I'm not sure if I would say it's famous, but to us locals, it's more of a road we associate a lot with shopping, especially with the Phoenician Golf Resort being on the street. You know, celebrities stay there. It's expensive and nice, and so I'm turning on to 68th Street here, which is the Just the street that runs behind the mall here on the on the west end of it. So here's the mall again. And I've pointed this out before, like on Instagram and stuff, but this is Dillard's. This whole thing. And that over there is Dillard's. The building is two different colors. And the reason for that is that when they opened Camelview Plaza in '72, it sat across the parking lot that it shared with Scottsdale Fashion Square, which consisted of a Goldwater department store and a Dillard's at opposite ends of a mall. Fashion Square was originally an open-air structure, and I've seen a couple of old photos that I've come across just in searches. And the configuration of the mall is that it was outdoors. It had a single story. At the east end of it, along Scottsdale Road, was a Goldwater department store, and it looks like it had 2 floors at the time. And Goldwater's was in line, and also in line, but facing Scottsdale Road, is an A.J. Bayless supermarket. So you can pass between the two buildings to access the row of shops on their west side. Then they expanded Fashion Square, and at the west end of it, it was anchored by a Diamonds department store, which had 3 floors, and they added, an open plaza that had 2 floors in front of the Diamonds, from what I've gathered. Then in '72, when they had built this mall, apparently they had a shuttle that ran between the 2 malls across a single parking lot. It's Scottsdale, what do you expect? So this brown building here, Dillard's, was originally a Bullock's department store, which was a luxury department store chain from Los Angeles. That sort of more tan-colored part of the building was part of the mall. And that Neiman Marcus at House Sakowitz was the other anchor for this mall. So they're not the kind of anchors where their entrances, form the ends of the mall. They're simply at the ends of the mall. And, because, that's typically what you see in a mall, is that the anchor faces into the mall. And, it's the end of the mall, or it's a court in the mall. So this mall is a little bit different. I mean, it's almost kind of like the S-shaped Tetris piece in its layout. It wasn't a very big mall, and I've never been to this mall before when it was Camelview Plaza. But that tan part of the Dillard store was Camelview Plaza, or part of it. And what they had done in the 80s was they decided to connect the 2 malls with each other. They built Goldwater Blvd, and it sank below grade. They had to gut Diamonds. Well, in '86, Dillard's acquired Diamonds here. They also acquired Bullock's as well. But they acquired Diamonds, and, the Diamonds all changed to Dillard's. And at this mall, they gutted the Dillard's and turned it into more mall space, with the bottom floor having a food court. They enclosed Fashion Square by giving the area in front of the former Dillard's a 3rd story, and giving the rest of the mall going east a 2nd story. And at least in the food court area, you've got a retractable glass roof. So on nice nights, like in January or whatever, they can open up the roof, give it more of an open air feel. And Goldwater's was acquired by J.W. Robinson, and they became Robinson's May in '93. And the Goldwater's was expanded. They had knocked down A.J. Bayless, but they had expanded the anchor store, gave it a 3rd floor as well in one area of it. So it was a really big anchor store. but not quite as big as what Dillard would become. For 1997, they built that wing going across Camelback to Nordstrom, and it was at that time that Dillard's moved out of their second anchor store that had been built for them, and they moved here into the former Bullock's. Well, the Bullock's is only the brown part of the building, and then the rest here is the mall, and you can see by the mall entrance, or you can see by that Dillard's entrance over there, that that's still a remnant of the Camelview Plaza, because that's not a standard Dillard's entrance. And even looking at the former Bullock's, they had actually expanded it, because this area here in the northwest corner was part of an expansion. So you walk into this Dillard, and there are actually 3 different sets of escalators. One over here in the expansion, the Bullock's expansion, under a sort of dome skylight. There's escalator number 2, kind of towards the middle of the store, are the original escalators, and you know, these escalators are kind of more the narrow escalators that department stores used to have. And then over here in this part of the building, you've got the other escalators that look more modern because they replaced the escalators connecting the first and second floors, though the escalators going down underground are still look like the originals. Even the flooring down there is not standard for a Dillard's. You don't see that kind of flooring at a Dillard store. I've never seen it. When they connected the 2 malls, they took the exterior entrance of the Neiman Marcus building and turned it from like an exterior entrance into a mall entrance, and then they of course had to punch holes in the wall upstairs to create the second story mall entrance. But other than that, you can see that the rest of that store looks pretty unchanged. And you know, the exterior over here is pretty unchanged too. Maybe they painted different colors since then, but you know, that's still a remnant of Camelview Plaza, and that the same style you see on that far corner just above this car here that is in front of you, parked by the palm tree. You know, you see that same sort of detail on where the Diamonds anchor was before, so that's probably original facade as well on that part of the mall. Something that I've noticed, I'm pretty sure they're not going to relocate pillars or anything like that inside. So the pillars kind of going down the middle of where the mall used to be for Camelview Plaza are probably still original from the 70s. Though probably just with updated facades around them to match the Dillard style. So that's probably still a remnant as well, just the pillars. Because they're very, if you were to walk through the store, you would notice how they are at intervals, they're even in a line, so that must have been where the mall was. But obviously they had to fill in the floor, they had to fill in any skylights, because the mall probably had skylights up above. And another interesting thing too, if you were to walk into the Dillard store, you're going to find that it and Neiman Marcus are connected on the inside. So they never sealed the mall entrances from the Neiman Marcus building. So just some interesting things that I had noticed about the building, and just thought I'd share with you here on the exterior driving around. Because this is still all retro here.